I feel very blessed to be able to introduce Karen Calderon, who is one of our seniors who comes to visit Fish. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about her story and how she came to Fish and what the need is from her perspective. So thank you, Karen. And Karen, you're going to probably want to use that mic, right?
I can't see all of you way back there. You're so far away. You don't have to see me, but I'd kind of like to see you. Yes, I represent the elderly on fixed income. One day, I was talking with Mike, who I understand is sick. He's not here. And I was telling him that I was feeling guilty about coming to Fish. And he said, don't feel guilty, Karen. You're welcome here. Because I felt guilty because I knew that we could go and buy groceries for ourselves, but it was getting more difficult for us. For my husband is over here, Renee, and oh, he doesn't deserve applause. I didn't know that would get applause. But you are welcome here is a value that we have lived all of our married lives. Now, he likes to ask people, just guess how long we've been married. I will help you out. We've been married 57 years. Thank you, I deserve that. And we've always lived by the welcoming, to welcome anyone into our home. And our parents both did that as well. For most of our professional life, we were ministers in the Church of the Brethren, which is one of the 3 historic peace churches along with the Mennonites and the Quakers. And we welcomed everyone into our church and into our home. And we fed many people. When we lived in Ecuador, Renee is from Ecuador, and for a while we lived there, and our family lived there. And he was the national director of a literacy program, and his office was in our home. And so people were coming in and out all the time. And when I got up in the morning, I never knew how many people I would be feeding that day, because the main meal in Ecuador is almuerzo, which is at noon, 12, 1 o'clock. So they were in and out, and he had 3 cousins that would frequently just show up at the same time. Anyway, and I remember getting up in the morning and thinking, okay, I wonder how many are coming to the table today. And we just, add a little more water in the soup or cook some more rice, and we made do. I think the most we had in any one day was 18. But then we came back to the States. We've been back in the States for a number of years. And we moved to Broomfield because, in the year 2000, because we wanted to be closer to our 4 children, our 6 grandchildren, and now 1 great-granddaughter. And when we chose a place to live here in Broomfield, I checked out the dining space first, because our family got together a lot. Sometimes friends would come too, and that was important. So we continued to feed all of them. The older 4 grandchildren I took care of for 15 years. I had retired, and as our son said, "Mom, "You promised me if I had a child, you'd take care of him." And then he and my daughter each had another one, and I said, "You never asked my permission to do that." Anyway, but my cutoff line was when they went to middle school. I was done with them then. They could take a bus. Their parents could provide transportation. They could do activities after school. You know, in emergency, yes, we were there, but that was kind of my cutoff. So the last grandson was starting middle school and in the fall. And Renee and I said, "Okay, what are we going to do with all of our time?" And we thought about volunteering, and we hadn't checked out. We hadn't decided that yet. I mean, we knew we were going to, but we just didn't know where yet. And then at the end of the summer, just before Eliane started school, all of a sudden, we got old and sick. We were both diagnosed with cancer within 2 weeks of each other. And Renee has now discontinued his treatment. I am a survivor of major cancer surgery and chemotherapy and radiation. And then we realized really how hard it was to buy groceries. Before we went to the store, I would check the bank balance to make sure we had enough money. I would buy only those things on sale, or buy one, get one free. We would buy the store brands, the generic brands, and then we learned about fish. And we were welcomed, just as Mike said, we were welcomed here. We found a place that was clean, bright, well-organized, volunteer staff that was friendly and helpful and kind and well-meaning, and we were welcomed. I have to tell you a story about a young man who sometimes helps us put our groceries in the car. Pam helps us on Tuesdays, but now we go on Fridays. So he is there. Shane is his name, and he said, one day I said, "How long have you been volunteering here?" And he said, "Well, I started when I was in high school to get community service credits." And he said, "Now I'm in college, and I just make sure my schedule is open. I don't take any classes on Fridays, so I can come and help on Fridays." And then he said, and I quote, "I love it here." End of quote. Sorry, his story chokes me up. My story chokes me up. So Fish welcomes families. They welcome children. They welcome individuals who walk in with empty backpacks to fill. Somebody might come on a bike with a backpack on his back, her back, his usually. And they are never turned away. But I know the staff struggles to provide the food donations or to provide all the donations that they need. I notice that in the years we've been going, the shelves are not as full as they used to be. The essentials are always there. The eggs, the milk, the bread, beans, rice, all of those things are always there. But I know that they sometimes have to pay for the food because there haven't been enough donations to come in. And they need gas for that truck. Ryan, I met Ryan today. He drives that truck, he said, and he goes around and collects donations from stores, usually, I think, and then he delivers, or somebody delivers food in that truck to the different senior housing buildings around the area. We live in one of those, and I know when Fish is coming. They put it on our monthly calendar when Fish is coming, and people are there waiting. And we don't go there because we can still drive. I can still drive for a couple more years at least. And, but people go and take the food that has been brought, distributed from Fish, that Fish truck. So I know that the theme today is embracing hope. I contend that welcoming everyone is the embodiment of hope. Hope for nourishment, hope for a listening ear, hope for friendship, because people start talking to each other who are sitting by each other when they're in the room waiting to go in. They also can make connections in the community. On the walls, I don't know how often you get into the food area, the space where we wait, but the walls are covered with notices about help with homework or pre-K or housing situations or many others. And they are in Spanish and English. Some friends of ours, also from Ecuador, that live here in Broomfield now, need to move. And he picked up a flyer last Friday at Fish, which talked about not charging the registration fee, the application fee this month. And anyway, he said, Karen, help me call them. I need to know more about this because we've got to move. So yesterday morning, I spent making those phone calls, helping him find out what he needed to take with him to go and apply for new housing. So Fish is a safe place. It's a place sometimes to relax, sometimes just to chat with those around, sometimes to watch the kids play, sometimes to get a book. A lot of people donate their books that they've already read, and I get books from there and take them home and then bring them back when I'm done. There are books for children that can be read there. They can be taken home. So there are lots of resources for families, for single people who go to Fish. So I'm going to end with Fish and embracing hope that has been going on in the past. It's still going on today, but we want to make sure it will continue in the future. Thank you.